Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the business research lessons. This is week 4, and this time we are going to discuss research design methodology and research ethics. So in this session, we will cover the learning outcomes for this sessions are understand the research design and what is ethics and ethical issues. As we can see in research onion, the innermost part is data collection and the outermost part is the philosophy. Then in this one we see the methods of research. So this research design. So basically we are discussing this today. Methodological choice. So there are 3 methods that any researcher can choose: either qualitative design, quantitative design, and mixed method. In quantitative design, mono method quantitative design or multi-method quantitative design can also be used. Similarly, in qualitative and in mixed method design, you can either have both quantitative, qualitative research, mixed method study complex, and mixed method study simple can be done. Mixed method, you can see quantitative qualitative method, or quantitative method and then qualitative method and then turning them into quantitative method, or quantitative method then turning them into qualitative, and sequential multi-phases, qualitative methods, then quantitative, and then again turning them into qualitative method. The reason for using, why are you using mixed methodology? So one of the major and most important reason of doing mixed methodology is its generalizability, that you can generalize it. Moreover, it also has diversity. It has problem-solving nature. You can solve a problem. For example, if you want to see how a productive an organization is or how customers are satisfied. If you want to see the both perspective, you can do interviews from the management and you can do surveys from the employees. So you can have a more comprehensive overview of the research. Then different research strategies, either you can do experiments or you can do surveys, you can do archival and documentary research, or you can do case studies. There are many more types of research strategies going on at the moment. Then what are the types of variables that are used in the research? They can be either independent variables, dependent variables, or mediating variables. Independent variables that is being manipulated or changed to measure in its impact on dependent variable. A dependent variable that may change in response to changes in other variables. Then mediating can be a variable located between independent and dependent variable, which transmits the effect between them. Then there are some more moderator, a new variable that is introduced, which will affect the nature of relationship between independent and dependent variable. Control variables, additional observable and measurable variables that need to be kept constant to avoid them influencing them. And then confounding variables as well. Threats to reliability. Now, why reliability is important in research? Reliability is important, that research is right or not, and what are the impacts, what are the factors that can threaten the reliability of the research. For example, participant error. If a participant is not giving the right answer, participant has not understood the question, then participant bias. If a participant is, for some reason, for example, if they ask me to write about the political government, for example, if I am going to be biased with someone, I will not be able to give the rational answer. Then researcher error any factors which alters the researcher's interpretations. For example, if researcher is biased, can be one of the thing, or in recording the presentation. If a researcher wants to see his or her result in their favor, they may be able to, tweak or change or influence, I would say, that research. Okay, so that is going to be a researcher bias, and if it's going to be there, reliability is a question mark. Again, humans are complex, as we all can see. Asking certain question to certain people, you may get different results. If you're going to ask a few things, because of cultural difference, there are a lot of things that can be different. If you are going to ask a same question from a person in UK, and if you are going to ask the same question in Middle East, or maybe in Australia or in Japan, the answers may be different. Okay, again, it requires careful consideration by the researcher as to what are the implications. So you need to ask more elaborated questions. Okay. Ethical issues, sometimes you have to justify your research, that why are you doing this research, why is it important, why do it need, for example, if it is somehow, if it involves vulnerables like maybe children or adults with special needs, if you are going to be questioning them, then it is going, you have to get informed consent from all of the participants before doing the research. And you have to tell them about the potential harm that is going to be. For example, if you're asking anyone about the management, and if you say that, oh, I will be keeping your name as anonymous, however, you're not keeping their name anonymous, that is going to be an issue. Or people may lose their job in that case. So you need to tell about the potential harm that it may have. It is just like if you are giving someone medicine, you tell them the side effects of the medicine. Again, time to think. Participants should be given time to reflect on the implication. You are not going to give a participant, for example, if you're doing if you're doing an experiment, which is going to be a cross-sectional experiment on specific times, and if you are not going to give them proper time to think about it, then it is not going to be fine. The researcher should not pressure them. You cannot get their consent by anything which is unlawful or unethical as well. Example of vulnerable participants may be children. So if you are researching anything on the children, the consent of their parents is very important, and they need to be told that, okay, these can be the consequences. It requires guardian agreement, although I would suggest avoiding such an avenue of inquiry about without specific need. So if you do not need to involve children, do not involve them. Okay. The nature of the consent, it's either you can completely avoid the consent, or consent which is partially not right, or informed consent. Okay. So lack of consent is you do not have asked about their consent and just asking them questions, and you have not told them that, oh, this will be used in the research. Inferred research is person involved does not fully understand his or her rights. You're asking them, and you're not telling them that, oh, this can be, or you are not inferring consent about the use of data, how you are going to use the data. Informed consent is when a participant is fully aware of what you are doing. So this is what you have to do. First two things, they are a big no. Obtaining consent, identify participant population, then answer participants' questions if they want any, give a copy of the consent form. It's better to attach a consent form with the survey if you are conducting an interview. Before that, you need to have a signed consent form before doing any interview from anyone. Participants may not have the experience or educational background in order to fully understand the question. So it's your duty to tell them that, okay, this is what you mean by this. Assessing participant understanding. How would you test to see if a participant understands? You are going to ask questions, and you have to tell them that this is their role. then you have to tell them any potential risks which are involved in. So you have to do a risk assessment first, and then you have to tell them that these are the potential risks that are involved in this research. Then you also have to give your contact information, that if a person wants to withdraw at any time of the research, they are allowed to do that. Um, all of those of their supervisor and ethics committee, or any potential complaints, you can so that they can do it. Withdrawal again, state that refusing to participate will involve no penalty. You have to tell them that, you remember that you cannot force them to be with you at any point of the research. Okay. Emphasize that individual may discontinue participation at any time without penalty of benefits or losses. Okay. Deception or concealment. This is going to be an academic misconduct. GDPR issues are also involved if you are going to get data from any deception without informing or without doing the ethical procedure. It is possible if you consider responsibility to determine which use of techniques is justified by the study's scientific, educational, or applied value. Number two, consider whether alternative procedures are available that do not use concealment or deception. And number three, ensure that the participants are provided with sufficient explanation as soon as possible. For some reason, if you have to do, if you have to not to tell them that what are the, why are you doing that still? Confidentiality, very, very important. If you're getting any kind of data for any reason, you have to keep it confidential. This is a big issue for GDPR and Data Protection Act. Structure of your proposal, as we discussed in the last time. So this week, from week 4, you have to try to develop, because in week 6 you will have your presentation. So this is the structure of the proposal that you have to follow for your poster as well. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next week in week 5. Bye bye.